Hello, everybody. We are alive again this week for the Badass Business Introvert interview series. Like always, I'm just checking really quick to make sure that we are showing up live on my page because that's important. We won't want to do this and have nothing show up. Okay, perfect. We are. So I am here today with Dr. Michelle Castro. So excited to have you here. How are you doing today?
Doing really well. I'm so excited
Good.
to be on today. Thank you.
Good, good. So for you guys that have not met Michelle before, here's a little bio about her just to get you started on all the amazing things that she's already done. Through her practice of transformational coaching, Michelle L. Castro helps people release what's in the way of fulfilling their destiny. Her decades-long spiritual and personal development journey garnered Michelle a large toolbox to aid her clients in quickly releasing subconscious blocks and limiting beliefs. As a result of professional training and innate healing gifts, Michelle created Quantum Success Energetics, a unique transformational technology blending divine guidance, energy healing, and success coaching. With laser sharp intuition and a loving heart transmission, Michelle helps her clients access the self-love, courage, and confidence essential to creating life on purpose with the highest consciousness. Michelle focuses on core issues and expertly reveals where you may be deceiving yourself and buying into illusions or outdated belief systems to set your soul free to succeed. A prolific author, her book became a bestseller, The Destiny Discovery, Find Your Soul's Path to Success. She's currently working on a book about empowering the heart. That is one killer intro. Holy cow, you have done so much. And so you're just like a rock star in what we're going to be talking about today, which is all about how to fire your pesky saboteur and hire your inner rock star. So I'm really excited to dive deep into this with you and get started because you know your stuff. And so it's really exciting. So first off, I'm going to just dive right into these questions here. To being a badass entrepreneur.
There's a couple keys. I truly believe, though, that one that we often try to skip over is really taking the time to figure out what our unique purpose is. A lot of times, you think about, I want to own my business or get involved in something that's the latest and greatest thing. But if it's not aligned with your purpose, then it's just another great idea. So for me, the most powerful entrepreneurs are soul aligned with that purpose, and they're very embodied in that purpose. And then the other that we're going to talk about today is the mindset and really the heart set. It's like the energetic that you're bringing, to what you're doing, because that's everything. That confidence with being who you are, the confidence to attract money, the confidence to have those clients. All those are key ingredients, as I'm sure that you know very well, doing what you do.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. So where do you see people shrinking or hiding out from being seen in the world? And how is safety related to this energetically?
Yeah, a lot of my ideal clients are coaches, light workers, teachers, healers, and they tend to come from that helping energy, and they tend to not want to they're not as comfortable being seen and heard in the world as some other folks. There's a lot of different energetic reasons and past life and all kinds of dimensional kind of things we could get into, but mainly it's that that it's scary to put yourself out there. And a lot of times if you combine that with doing what you love, it's even scarier, because it's like you being very vulnerable, doing something that's really close to your heart, right? And so that puts people in fear mode quite a bit. And like I said, it's just even doing interviews like this, a lot of people don't like to be seen and heard, so that would prevent them from really showing up feeling really safe. And so we always start out at the energetic of I am safe when we start working together, because that's really, really important.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And so you guys start with that level of feeling safe. So how do you, when you're working on this, how do you kind of push them past that a little bit? Is there something that you do like right away just to like get them to that first step?
Yeah, that's a great question. And that really is the process that we're sort of talking about today. Is that pesky saboteur that really was designed when we were a little child to keep us safe. We kind of hired it to do something to keep the status quo and to keep us at a certain level, because when we're in our comfort zone, we feel safe. When we start to go out of our comfort zone and move into our courage zone, which is where our purpose is, which is where that business is, where you get to be a badass, but it's out there. So we want to come in and we want to bring in and befriend the saboteur, because what's happening is that until it's befriended and it's like engaged and working together, it's kind of in the background working against. And because it's trying to do the job that you hired it to, which was to keep you safe and comfortable. So we actually need to bring it on board with the higher purpose and give it a new job. And that's what I mean by firing your pesky saboteur and hiring your inner rock star, which we'll kind of get into a little bit more. But that really is the piece that helps that part feel that it is safe to come out of its comfort zone.
Awesome. This is totally, I haven't looked at things this way before. So this is really like a refreshing and insightful viewpoint on looking at this, because, you always think of that safe zone and trying to push people past it. And that's kind of why I started this interview series to begin with, is to give people the opportunity that maybe weren't comfortable doing interviews to put themselves out there. And for myself even, because I've never had done interviews before I started this series. And so that was kind of my own way of pushing myself out there as well. Yes. What are some of the voices of the inner saboteur?
There are a couple. We're very familiar with the inner critic, right? So we talk about the inner critic or the gremlin, the saboteur, all those are kind of different. Those are all voices of that. But that's the part that, tells you that you're not good enough, or you're going to look stupid, or, kind of negative. There's also the bully. Again, a bully is just going to kind of put you down, kind of push you around a little bit, just like you never can measure up. But the one that I think that women in particular struggle with a lot, which I think in a way is the easiest to overcome once you see that it's operating, is the voice of confusion. So it's like, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to be, or I don't know what to do. And it's like, yes, you do. And 9.9 times out of 10, when I say, okay, you have a magic wand, pretend that they know, right? And that's because it's like there's a part of us that doesn't want to know or wants to play confused, because, again, we get to stay safe in our comfort zone. Mm-hmm. So the confusion voice can, really be a common one, but it's easy to overcome once you see that you're just kind of playing a game with yourself. And then, of course, fear of the unknown or the darkness. We really fear change at the bottom level of all of this. And, we fear what we don't understand or what we don't know. And that one is really active, too, when you're trying to be up to bigger things in your life, like pursuing your purpose or starting a business.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I definitely resonate with that confusion one. Man, that was such a huge thing, especially when I was trying to start my business and figure out what I was going to be doing, who I was going to be helping. And I was just like, I don't know. And I kind of beat around the bush for forever. And so that's a huge one. And I totally know that one is a huge one for people to get stuck on. So how do you help people heal and befriend their saboteur?
Well, you mentioned it earlier, Nicole. There's two things that really are antidotes to fear. There's getting support, right? So it's like knowing that you've gone as far as you've gone, like you were confused starting a business. Well, you get a mentor that can help you see clarity, help you take action. You get support with it. And then the other thing is just action. It's like you can't be afraid of something when you're doing it. It's like, okay, I'm on video and I'm still alive. I didn't die. It's okay, right? So all those voices that, sounded so real before you got on camera, well, you can't argue with it now, because now you're on camera. And one of my favorite quotes that I think represents this was by Vincent van Gogh. And he said, if you hear a voice inside of you telling you that you can't paint, then by all means paint, and that voice will be silenced. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how that works, is support and action. And that helps to alleviate the fear.
Mm-hmm. That quote is perfect to go with that. Man, I haven't heard that one. So that's a good one. I'm probably going to have to write it down after we're done here and put it on my wall.
Yeah, right.
So as we're looking at this, what is involved in getting your inner rock star on board with your business plan?
Yes. That is where we first befriend and get to know your saboteur. And then we actually really do like a promotion process. This is all an energetic process that I take people through as part of the quantum success energetics that we talked about. But there's a couple layers to it. So the first part is getting the saboteur on board and in a new position. And then we start to speak to your spirit or your deeper self, your heart, and activate the courage within your heart so that that's the part of you that starts making the choices and decisions. And it's already enrolled in the bigger vision. It just hasn't been given the wheel, right? So we start to give that part of ourselves the wheel to where we're going, and actually put the saboteur into a different part of the company. So it still has purpose and it still has a function, but it's not the one driving the car, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is sort of like a reorganization of your psyche, your psychology. And that's why it actually really works for people. And it's the first thing that I do with any new coaching client. We always do this process to get going, because otherwise, 6 months down the road, I could still be working with the saboteur. And so, it was really important to get that part onto the platform early so that we can really experience quantum leaps and shifts, very easily.
Awesome. Yes, you definitely have a great system to do this with your clients. And so like, from your bio, you have lots of experience doing this. So this is like a rock star system. And so you've mentioned the quantum success, but how does the quantum success and energetics help support clients?
It's a lot of times we just try to do transformation from the mindset only, but I really have found that it's a whole holistic system. Mm-hmm. And I work from the light body, which is kind of like the energy system all around. And if we can clear out the light body through the field of the quantum field of love and intention, then the mindset stuff sort of handles itself and kind of unlocks. And so I really do it from that space, which is like that part of yourself, which is hard to describe, but it is a quantum field process. And we're working together with each other, and we are looking at, mindset things and things where you're holding yourself back, but we're doing it from an energetic place so that it unlocks more quicker, like in a quantum way. And that's how we work.
Awesome. That's great. That sounds super exciting. Like there's so much opportunity there for people. So in your bio, you talk about that you're currently working on a book about empowering the heart. Can you tell us a little bit about that and when that's going to come out?
Yeah, well, actually, I have been working on that, and it's called, the working title so far is Heart Empowerment for Empaths. Mm-hmm. And so it is for those of us who feel too much sometimes. And it's about empowering past some of the core wounds that we may have adopted, through our childhood or places that are holding us back, so that we can be the leaders of love that we came here to be. And it kind of is, the book behind me is the book that you spoke about earlier, which is all about finding your destiny and your purpose path. And I think they go very well together because, it is through the heart that we create and manifest. A lot of law of attraction teachings teach that, think about what you want or focus on your vision board or whatever. But the thing is, unless you're really feeling it and aligned with having it and receiving it, that's where it doesn't really work. But if you're like open channel and your heart is wide open to receiving the right mate or your ideal clients, the money, whatever you're asking for, then it has to come because the energetic is a match, and that's how it works. So I'm really excited about this book, and I love writing because you never know where it's going to take you. You have an idea where it's going to go, but it's a very transformational process. And so I'm loving that I'm getting a lot of the transformation as I go.
Nice. And do you have an idea when that one's going to be released?
I do believe it will be out by the fall. September or October is my target date. So
awesome.
Pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. You'll have to keep us posted on that and let us know when it's out so that we can all check it out. I have this really awesome freebie for everyone today. I was just looking at the page here with the Discover Destiny and this MP3 bundle. Do you want to tell us a little bit about this and why people should get signed up for this?
Yeah, I used to just give a sample chapter of my book, but I decided, I'm a generous spirit, so I'm giving my entire book that's behind me, the Destiny Discovery in ebook form, of course, but you have the whole book there to kind of go through and really help you see where you're at and how to get moving quicker. And then the audios, the meditations are a companion to that to help you kind of unlock some of the clues for, how to get looking in the right direction for your purpose and get started down that path quicker. And so that's the gift.
Perfect. And I did drop the link for that in the comments. So if you're watching live or checking out the replay at any point, that is right there in the comments for you. Super easy to access. Get signed up for that. It looks crazy, crazy impactful and powerful. And if you guys have been listening to Michelle today, you know that she knows what she's talking about. And so get in there, get signed up, read this book. I'm sure it is fantastic. I'm definitely going to be checking it out myself. Any other tips about tackling that pesky saboteur or getting that Rockstar out?
Yes, yes. I would say, this week a coaching challenge would be to notice where you shrink back or that voice that says that you can't, or, the negative voice. Really pay attention to it this week and take a moment and write it down. Just kind of get, more self-awareness. That can bring a lot of transformation just right from doing that. Just notice what it's saying to you and where you're getting triggered the most. And then just learn to pause and take a nice deep breath and just say, you know what, thanks for sharing, and learn to kind of talk back a little bit to that part of yourself and know that it's just an energetic pattern that really isn't real. It's just sort of like a sub-personality. And the more that you give it positive attention, the more it can actually back down. So I would just say play a little psychic detective this week and see what you find out about that voice in your head.
Awesome. That is a great action step for us. I have one final question for you, and then we will probably wrap this up here today. But here's my final question. How has being an introvert benefited you in your business?
For me, it's like having that quiet time. That's where the best ideas come. Taking self time just to be with nature, or that source of inspiration within you. It's like I don't get it from other people. It comes from the well within, and that is so important. And self-care, I don't care how high of a level of a client that I'll get. We always come back to taking time for yourself and self-care because it's so essential no matter what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And even if you consider yourself an extrovert, still taking that time to go within is so vital on so many levels. But for entrepreneurs, it's definitely where you're going to get your best ideas and your most creativity.
Yep, I definitely agree. I love that, that we basically recharge as introverts from spending that time alone and getting that energy from being alone. But
exactly.
Otherwise, that is probably all we have for today. Thank you so much, Michelle, for popping on. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Be sure to click the link below to check out that awesome freebie that Michelle has for you guys. And otherwise, I will see you on the next interview. Bye, everyone. Have a great afternoon.